Stories of loss, pain, and broken dreams. Prison Chronicles, revealing the real cost. No glamour, no glory, just the lives lost. Faces fade, stories remain, the pain we can't ignore.
This is the truth behind the world.
Prison Chronicles, revealing the real cost. No glamour, no glory, just the lives lost. Faces fade, stories remain, the pain we can't ignore.
This is the truth behind the door. Real stories, real consequences. This is the truth behind the door.
Yes.
I felt like your little bit.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Don't say I never helped.
How do I like it?
Huh?
How can I like it?
This is truth they don't want to see. Stories of loss, pain, and broken dreams.
I'll never say I didn't
Prison
do it.
Chronicles, revealing the real cost. No glamour, no glory, just the lives lost. Faces fade, stories remain, the pain we can't ignore.
This is the truth behind the world.
Prison Chronicles, revealing the real cost. No glamour, no glory, just the lives lost. Faces fade, stories remain, the pain we can't ignore.
Just store.
All right, let's roll. Art Lopez, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Oh,
You will let Melissa Giron's here.
hello, hello.
How you doing, Melissa?
Melissa, Lopez.
Just so everybody knows, there'll be some people that some people don't see because we are doing Facebook and YouTube. So, yeah, Melissa, thank you. It's crazy, Melissa. Those that song is basically by an AI. It's a trip. But we wanted to come in and say happy
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
For those that are American, Memorial Day, we celebrate it here in the States. For those who fought,
It's for people that have
Fought for our
died,
lives.
that have
Yes.
died in the
Yes.
war, right? Because Veterans Day is for the ones that are still alive, or both, I guess. Whatever.
I know you don't know because you're not from here, but
She's so
that's
stupid.
what we do here in the States.
What's going on, everybody? Hopefully, you guys can hear us over this music. We're sitting in a restaurant, so it's kind of loud, but hopefully, it's not blocking anything out. How does it sound, babe? Can you tell?
Let me see.
It's all right, huh?
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
Well, you can hear it in the background,
Can you?
but it's all right.
Yeah. I wish there was a way to shut that down, but I don't think there is. Like any kind of I got it on reduce mic background noise, but I don't think that.
It's really hot in our house right now. They're working on the AC. It's just brutal. So
Yeah.
we had to get out for a little bit. You know, if it ain't one thing, it's another. It's just the way life is, right?
Always. Johnny Chingas, órale, que huele grillo y white fence. What's up, brother?
Hello.
Johnny Chingas. Yeah, Melissa, it's a trip, man. It's an AI called, I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but if you were to just put in like a song maker or something, it's called Suno, Suno, and you basically put lyrics into it. You could write your own, or have like Chat GPT write something that's like you can give it. What I basically just put the description of Prison Chronicles, and the Chat GPT wrote it. And then I threw in that music shit, and it did that. It's pretty cool.
They have one where you can sing and then it fixes your voice.
I know. Yeah, it's true.
See, I don't need that because I could carry a tune, but oh look, Sergio's here. See, Sergio knows. He heard me doing karaoke. He thought it was a real thing. But
Yeah,
you know, for some of you guys that want to do,
no, he didn't. Art Lopez said, "I'm good. Just spent $200 on nothing." Oh, hey, white pig, must be nice on nothing. Just throw it away.
No, he probably meant like the grocery store.
That's how it always goes, bro. It goes
Yeah.
so fast, man. Everything is so expensive nowadays.
I think it's gone a little bit better though.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Joseph Casiano, what's up, brother? He said, I can hear you. Firme. Rigo Garcia. What happened? We started at in the middle, and the blacks in prison cry, snibble, and bitch, and blame the white men. No, 100% the choices we make, that's the consequences of our actions. We just have to man up and take accountability. Yeah, I guess.
Where's that on Facebook?
Yeah, it's the Facebook side of it. Rigo, I guess, but to be honest, bro, I don't think it's just the negros. A lot of fools be in there, you know, poor me type shit. You know what I mean? I understand that there are some injustices in the justice system, but hey, if you put yourself at the mercy of it, you got nothing to talk about. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, you broke the rules or the law or whatever and got yourself there, then we just have to deal with it like the men that we are. That's it. You know what I mean? And I get it. There's always something to complain about, but we really don't got a leg to stand on when you sit in that position. You know what I mean? Like you said, the consequences of our actions, they got to be dealt with. Absolutely. Johnny Chinga said, Happy Memorial Day. Salutes to all our fallen heroes and their families for their sacrifice. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sergio B23. He said, hey, what's up, everyone? Cubole.
Oh, he's here.
Big Chungs. What's up, homeboy? He said, good evening. What's on the agenda, big homie? We just came in to say Cubole, bro. Middle of the day. We left the chante because it's hot. Got the AC being worked out, so we took off for a minute. And
It's just so hot in there. It's hotter in there than it is outside. Isn't that crazy?
Big Chango got that San Jose on his thing. Orale, there you go. See the little picture?
Let me see. Let me click on
It's San Jose.
it. Oh, okay.
So he finally went live at a time. My 23-year-old ass is awake.
Oh yeah, he works early.
Yeah, you work too late. Oh, you're up all night, huh? Working. Oh no, you get up.
You doing anything today, Sergio, with the kids, barbecuing or anything?
Yeah.
They're getting so big, huh?
Kids are they're gonna start staying up late with you. Salty Rider, what's up, brother? So said, I remember that. I thought it was a dog being beat.
Oh. Oh. Not my singing skills. Oh wow.
Big Chango said, I apologize, big homie. I thought you was by yourself. I just heard my homegirl's voice. I said mine's in full.
Oh, hello.
I need to call you, Chango. I keep thinking about it and then I don't do it. I'll call you later, probably today or tomorrow. OC714 says, salute, Cricket. God bless you. Thank you, brother. Right back at you. Johnny Chinga said, ¿Qué Sergio? Johnny says, saludos a todos on the chat.
Yeah.
Laquifa Alopecia said, what reeks? Players got $20 on Timberwolves.
Oh, is there a game today?
What do they play?
I want to say basketball.
Hockey?
You know we don't know.
Timberwolves. $20, guys. Parmero said, bro, you can't do this. The sun is still out. Yeah, I know. It's bright too, bro. Out here.
It's a little afternoon, a little light.
That's why I had to put this background up so it looked dark.
Oh, Lord.
Basketball. They're playing Oklahoma City, the favorite for championship. Oh, okay.
I guess it's college.
College. Cool. Man, how's everybody doing, man? How are things been? Hey, I don't know if a lot of you guys heard, and I don't know how much of you guys care, but in Phoenix, the Phoenix PD had been investigated by the Justice Department, and the Justice Department came out with over 100-page ¿cómo se llama? Report saying that the Phoenix PD violated civil rights and had a systemic, all that bullshit, right? The shit they be saying. They had pictures, they had videos, and there was other cities in the United States that were also under investigation by the Justice Department, other police stations. This week, the Justice Department decided to drop all cases against all police departments and rescind all the reports. And I know it's because of the Trump administration. I don't want to get talking about politics because I'll be honest, and I've told you guys before, I swing a little bit both ways. You know what I mean? On politics. I agree with a little bit on both sides, but in this case, man, I just don't see how politics can decide whether people's rights are being violated. Like, I think that shit's crazy. These are reports that were they were under investigation for years, and they came out with reports with videos, facts. How do you rescind that just because someone else got into the office? I don't know, man. I think it's crazy, and I guess we'll see what happens from it. But it's gonna be a trip, man. Too bad for all the people that were really fighting for shit to get right. Farmero said, "Damn, Javon still hasn't been deported. Trump is slacking."
No, sir. Because he knows I'm from here, sir. Thank you very much.
I tell you,
he's out getting the real criminals.
I tell you what, Farmero, if anytime it's gonna be now, because I think today they had a report that there was a big scuffle somewhere in Phoenix because ICE was getting all kinds of people. Did you see that this morning on the news?
Well, they can. They're not going to get me. I have my little ID. Here you go. Look me up.
See, I don't show ID.
Right there.
I don't show ID.
Just
I got a Fourth Amendment right. I'll put the fucking phone up.
No, you won't. You did a lot of bad things. You ain't got no rights. Just give them your ID and
I got the First Amendment. I'm media.
I'm telling you one thing. If you start doing that, if they pull us over, I'm like, look, sir. I don't know what he's doing.
Hey, you know what? You know what's crazy is I always say I'm gonna do it, but every time the cops, if I get pulled over or something, I'm pulling that shit out. I ain't got no argument.
Actually, the times we have gotten pulled over, they've been really cool with us.
Yeah, but it's usually because it's my fault. If they ever pull me for not doing nothing, then I think I'll stand.
And it usually is your fault.
Yeah.
You forgot to turn on your headlights.
Yeah.
I mean, they were real nice about it. Like, hey, your lights aren't on or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. If it's my fault, then it's my fault. So just say cute, but wait till it's not. Boy, I'm gonna stand on them.
Just give them your ID and be quiet.
So just say cute with Johnny. Joseph Casiano said, "Hey, bro, I'm from Texas. Love your content on Facebook. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. I know, but I did a lot of time with the fools from Texas, bro. They had a different stilo, man. But I had, obviously because we're all from different places, but they were some good ass dudes, man. I did dudes from Dallas, from Fort Worth, from same area, but from El Paso, Houston, even man, what was he from? Austin. He was from. There was one about from Austin. He was a good dude. Coco, that's his name, Coco. Yeah. But appreciate you checking us out, Joseph. I don't know if you've seen, man, the Facebook is messing with my stuff, so I'm trying to fix things up right there. I know it's kind of looking crazy, but Carmelo said, "Nah, that's NBA, LOL." Oh, it is?
No, we don't know.
It's not college?
I don't know.
Oh, all right.
Oh, bro.
Shut the hell up.
I'm just saying, did you check it?
All right, we're back. I think.
Don't go crazy because I'll go crazy. Do that.
You guys there? I think we're back. Let's see. Yeah, we're back. My bad, guys. It's the Wi-Fi aquí, I think, messed. I had to go out and back in, but orale. Farmero said the city's going crazy because the Thunder is doing so well. Oh, out there, Oklahoma. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Farmero says swing both ways is crazy, Cricket. I'm talking to politics, fool. You always got that craziness in your mente, little sicko. Sergio said they did the same here in Antioch about a year or so ago, fired hella Antioch PD and summoned Pitt for corruption and racism. Yeah, the report had just come out here, bro, and they were talking about taking over, and they had to sign some papers, and the PD didn't sign them. They were trying to do, but I think they knew this was coming. Basically, they threw it all out. Farmero said they can't cricket. This is fascism, authoritarian-like behaviors. In that case, I agree with you, bro. It doesn't make sense that you could just say these reports, just rescind these reports as if what's in them isn't true, you know? It's just
How about you just stop breaking the law?
but that's not what these reports are about. It's about regular citizens being accosted for no reason.
Just for walking down the street.
No, if you get pulled over in the car and then they beat the fuck out of you because you didn't use your fucking turn signal, aren't you gonna be a little upset?
Oh, little.
Uh-huh. If not, then let me beat the fuck out of you.
Really?
I got a little bit of what I got. I owe you some.
I wish you would.
Mark Cattell said Trump sent my wife back to Mexico. Is that right? Are you bullshitting, bro? Is that a joke? Because if it's not, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. If it is, then okay. Farmero says Sergio Antioch has one of the most crooked police departments in the, and then he put he's frozen. I'm not frozen no more, I hope.
No, you're fine.
Sergio said Farmero, that's a Niner. He said Q was homie long time. It has been a while, huh, bro? We've gone live a few times, but not as often as we used to. But we're starting to. Matter of fact, we're gonna be moving here soon. From the position where we're living right now. And I think we're gonna have a little bit
downgrade a little bit because it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's too much of an upkeep.
Yep. But we're gonna, I think, trying to set it up to where I have like a little area where we can really do this type of stuff. So I'm gonna start going a little bit harder. He's frozen. Sergio said, Farmelo, that's all I heard and hear still. I try to stay away from them as much as possible. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, but honestly, for the majority, it's true. If you're not out there looking for it, it ain't gonna find you. But there are those, outliers, and I'm one that truly believes, bro, that some of them vatos have that mentality that it's us versus them. Not all of them. There's good ones out there. I just wish those were the ones that would really speak up, but they're scared, Farmel said it was Jovan. Her ears knocked something over for sure.
Oh, wow. Really?
The Wi-Fi was connected through the ears, bro.
Wow. Mother.
Let me see, where are we at? Sergio said, got to keep the modem next to the fan so it doesn't shut down. She been saying, "Hey guys, I got a big nose, eh?" Maruka been saying I got a big nose since yesterday because I told her she has a honker.
I don't have a big. See, oh my god! Now you're gonna give them something. No, that's what you're not gonna do. No.
Niner said, "Been about 3 years." Has it been 3 years, fool? Oh, then you stopped coming through because we were still doing them. I'm glad to see you, brother. Though, hopefully you're doing well, bro. Neta, I hope things are going good. Farmel said, "Yeah, we see you now." Palmetto LOL. So La Cuifa said I got 100 for them to lose the championship, 200 payout.
Oh, okay.
2-1. Russell Soto said, "What's the word, Red Bro? What's up, Russell? Hey, I seen your thing where you're talking about Pablo. He pled guilty to 4 muertes, bro. So he pled guilty. I was looking it up. So he pled guilty to Floater and Carol, Floater's wife. On May 5th of 1999 is when they passed away, and then he pled guilty to Pato Head, which I believe I think it said that was the 9th of May, for like 4 or 5 days later, and then he pled guilty to Chulon about a month after. It was in June of 99. So he pled guilty to four muertes altogether. And he took them all, first degrees. He took lives on all of them. But I guess he just did it so that he can go back to the feds, because he's doing double life in the feds anyway. So it's not like he's got to come do time in the state. He's just going to go back out there and do his time. And he was able to, get out of here. He just did a year in the county fighting, or not even fighting it, I guess, just waiting to sign these deals. La Cuifa said, I was heated for a couple hours yesterday talking about law enforcement corruption. Fucked my whole mood up. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. I mean, listen, man, if you're a normal citizen not doing nothing, it tends to get kind of grainy, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll watch these videos and you'll be like, why doesn't the person just give up his ID or whatever, you know what I mean? But the honest truth is, like, why would that be a right if you're not expected to use it? You know what I'm saying? And that's the only thing. Like, you're allowed not to. So why should you, just to placate somebody? Why can't they just not ask for it? You know what I mean? Why can't they placate you? And so I guess it's a two-way street there, but at the very least, the whole us versus them mentality is what I'm kind of more worried about. I think it's getting worse and worse with that, where it's become a line down the sand where they're on that side and we're on this side, and I think that's dangerous.
You just think that they would learn by now with all the cameras and
You would think.
And people videotaping. Like, you would think they'd learn, but they don't. They're just their ego, and they're just a little bit big-headed, thinking that they're going to get away with it. Sometimes they do, and then it's even worse.
Well, they usually do, I think, and that's why. Yeah. Russell said, I'll never move from G-Town. Still out there?
What's G-Town?
Glendale.
Oh.
Where you think your family's from?
I swear to God, you're so dumb sometimes. Like, you piss me off.
Niner said, what's up with Greyhound?
No, because you do. Because my family is from there. My grandparents, I went to school there. My grandparents were married there. We had a family restaurant there. I went to school there. How am I not part of that?
So are you from there, or are you from Avondale, or from Phoenix?
I'm from all three. It's none of your business. Leave me alone. So stupid.
Niner said, what's up with Greyhound? I don't know, bro. I haven't talked to him for a while. He's still out there in
Did they move him?
No, I think he's still there. He's still there. I can't think of what where's he at? Colorado. Yeah, he's still out there.
Is he on that PC road?
Yeah, he's still over there in that same yard. Burqueño said, hey guys, what's up? What's up, Burqueño?
Really just can't get down with his get down. You know, sometimes you just outgrow people and you just gotta move on.
Sergio said, ears, Wi-Fi. Jojo said, saludos, Grillo. What's up, brother? Sergio said, Burqueño, salute. Palmer said, why do I think Jovan probably does have one of those honking India noses to match the orejas de elefante?
I don't, sir. I don't. I can send you a picture if you want personally. I don't. See what you start. Shut your face.
Oh, son of a bitch. That's funny.
I know somebody that has a horse face. I can give you their face. You know she does.
Oh, yeah. Didn't I put You know what? I don't got my pictures on this one because I changed the. I have to put them up again. I changed the the email on the StreamYard. I gotta put those because you guys have seen pictures of Jovan. She doesn't really have not a honker.
You know what's so weird, you guys? Like the other night, is it last night? No, it was the other night. I had a really emotional breakdown of my days in jail.
She did.
I really did. I was really thinking back on it. It was really messed up, you guys. And I just look back and I'm like 40 something now. If I could like go back and just give myself a little hug, I would, because I was 20 years old and I was so stupid and so naive. I was so dumb. Like, what person? Seriously, like, why? Why are you talking to this guy in jail? Why are you going to visit this guy in jail? Why? Like, why? And I mean, I wouldn't change anything now. I'd go through it all over again just so that I can have my son. But like, how stupid and naive was I? And then I was pregnant in a cell. What if my cellie tried to hurt me in any way? And then I was showing Manuel, like, describing how she was. Like, she'd jump all over the place and go to the little window and bang on it. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. And she's like banging on the window, talking to somebody, and I'm like, oh my god, this is my life or what? It was really emotional. It was crazy.
It was weird. She actually started tearing up.
Just because I think of like kids that are like 18 years old, 19, and they do stupid things, and then they get like 10 years for nothing. Well, I mean, not for nothing, but they just get it thrown at them. You know what I mean? And it's like, you're a kid. You don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Just sucks.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in your 40s out there looking for love in the prisons and then you get caught up, I mean, you're a little tool to know what's up. You know what I mean?
Or to pretend like you didn't know.
Pretend like you don't know. Or if you have kids and you're dragging your kids to visit another man, having them call him dad, that's kind of weird and awkward. And I think that's bad parenting on so many things. Or in one scenario, I know of a woman who had kids already, met somebody in prison, had sex while he was in there on a visit, and then got pregnant and had the kid. That is kind of weird, and that is kind of not good parenting. For what I think.
But you know what's crazy is like that's.
Why would you have a kid from someone in there knowing they're never going to get out?
But you know what I was going to say
what are you going to do to that child?
That's kind of common.
It's kind of gross. It's really gross.
I mean, the messed up part is your
kid
you're not going to have the kid with the dad, you know?
And then you have to go tell your other kids, oh, hey, guys, I'm pregnant by some guy in prison that he's never going to get out. Yeah. Like, what kind of parenting is that? Like, let's be honest. A lot of the reason why us adults or kids nowadays are messed up is because of crappy parenting.
Yeah.
The parenting is ridiculous on so many levels. And nobody wants to say that. Like, there are bad parents.
Yeah. But Burkina says, Sergio, hey brother, good to see you. How's the kiddo? Rosa Soto said, maybe he finally making peace with the man upstairs. Pablo? I doubt it, bro. I think he just wanted to get back to the feds, you know? They had him right there in 4th Ave in the, lockdown. He's been used to now almost, 10 years walking yardas out there in the feds because they don't lock him down. He just wanted to get back out there, I'm sure, you know what I mean? Just sign the dotted line and go back. He got nothing to lose. Sergio said, Burqueño, likewise, bro. They're doing good, growing big as hell. My 14-year-old is taller than me. My 12-year-old is almost as tall as him, and my daughter is 7 is catching up to me quick. Isn't it weird, bro? Like these kids nowadays get tall, fat, easy, right? Fast. My son's taller than me too.
I think you're just short.
Fuck, man. Who's short?
You're short.
I'm average.
You're short. I'm short.
I'm average.
My son said he's very thankful and lucky to have been tall because of us both being short.
Farmero said, Jojo said she's from Nogales.
What?
She's from Nogales.
I'm not.
Farmero said, hood hopping, Jovan better leave my boy Cricket alone. God. She's a flipper, bro. Jojo says, look like a football in the middle of her face, but it's not that big.
Freaking guy. Wow.
Daniel said, Sergio, good to hear, bro. Sergio said, you're lucky. Women in prison don't try to take each other's cheeks.
No. This girl was crazy, you guys, and I didn't know what she was doing. And
But you know what? The Ruka that she was with, from what I hear, she was on Halle and all that, but she was a good Ruka. Like she helped Jovan.
No, she really did help me. She was just, now I know that she was on one.
Yeah.
And now I know that it wasn't her first time in there.
And you met her. You're in close custody, not in normal jail. They had Jovan in close custody, which is like the highest custody you can be in the county.
I'm just looking around at all these people in there. I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Am I really gonna be here? Oh my god.
T-Rilla.
I really do need to find her. We actually try to start looking her up, but I really need to pinpoint like the days and the times that I know exactly what day I went in. So I need to really pinpoint it all down and try to find her. I really want to find her because she didn't have to be nice to me or cool with me like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. T-Rilla said, at the Halle watching you, Grillo, can I get a cubo? You already know it. What's up, brother? How you doing? How you doing? How's work going, bro? Everything going all right? Johnny Chinga said, Cubo Burqueño. Johnny said, Cubo Jojo. Oh, yeah, Jojo. Laquifa said, it's a combination of parenting, gangs, and cops poaching youngsters.
I just think a lot of it is the parents.
Yeah, I mean,
and for the most part, it is.
Yeah, we've talked about that. I think the majority of it
bad parenting
is definitely from the home, because
now if the kid turns 18 and they go out and do crazy things and that's not what they were raised to be, then that's on them. They're just being selfish and they're just exploring, right? But when you have a good home and good parents, there should be no reason for it. But when I take a look at a lot of these kids, I'm like, okay, let me see your parents. I'm like, oh my God, no wonder you're a hot mess.
Yeah.
Look at them.
I mean, in my time, I did 20 years in prison total. And honestly, the majority of the vatos that I ran across that, including myself, came from broken homes. That's just the reality of it. That's why with the nonprofit that we're putting together, that we got going on, the biggest element of it is gonna be the mentor part. You know what I mean? That you have to introduce these kids to some positive role models, some positive adults that can help them, through whatever they're going through and beyond. Because without that, I mean, they're just not seeing it. They don't know it. They haven't been there. And luckily, some kids make it through that. You know what I mean? That there is those ones that do, and so there's always going to be those, those examples. But the majority need a helping hand, and so hopefully we can give them that.
Look, I have cousins, family members, but I'm very honest with them as well. And I tell them, like, you need to fix your life, get it right. Like, your kids are what's important right now. My aunt went to prison for 3 years because she was in that whole thing with Pro and them, you know what I mean? But I tell my cousins, like, you guys were good kids. Your parents just went a little wrong. Your parents got divorced. Your mom met somebody in jail, got married in there, changed her last name. You guys called him dad. Then she divorced, met another guy. I'm like, you guys were little kids. What do you guys... Of course you guys have some mom or dad issues. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. Because sometimes, they blame things on themselves. And I'm like, no, I think it was the parenting. But now you guys are adults. Now you got to fix it. And what do? You move on. You forgive. You forget. You get help for it. What do you do? But that's a lot to do. Still, can you not do that?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's,
and a lot of parents are very lucky. that they have kids that don't know any better, and they're very lucky that they have nice kids that don't hold them accountable. Because if my mom came home one day and said, "Oh, hey, I want to tell you and your brother that I'm pregnant from some guy in prison and he's never getting out," I'd be like, "Excuse me?"
Yeah.
I would not be that nice little kid. And if I grew up all these years, "Hey, Mom, where's my dad?" "Oh, well, we created you while he was in there, and I knew he was doing life." Really, you robbed me of having a father out here?
Yeah, but
really,
but here's the thing, and
I wouldn't be okay with that.
yeah, but listen,
and a lot of these
but you
parents,
grew up different,
I know,
and most of these kids that happens to, that's par for the
No, but-
course.
I know a teacher that his mom was very poor, and she had him and his sister. They came here from the Philippines, and he told his mom, "You can give us up for adoption. You can't take care of us," because they were so poor.
Yeah.
And he had it. Like, they were getting fed by other
But
people.
most kids aren't gonna do that.
No, most kids aren't, and that's
Yeah.
why these parents are very lucky and they get away with it.
Yeah.
They get away with just getting by and nobody ever telling them anything. I'm here to tell you, you're a bad parent and you suck and you're doing damage to your kids. Stop that foolishness.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids, like I said, they're lucky that they love their parents no matter what, and they let them get away with stuff like that.
Mhm.
These parents are the ones that should be held accountable, not these kids. Like, "Oh, why are they bad? Oh, this generation is bad." It's not their fault. It's
Yeah.
these parents. That's insane for a 30, 40-year-old something woman to go to prison and get pregnant by somebody knowing they're never going to get out, or a 40-something-year-old woman to take her 2 little girls to a prison. "Hey, call this guy daddy. He's part of the Mexican Mafia, but it's okay. Call him daddy. He loves you." No, he doesn't. How irresponsible is that?
Yeah.
That blows my mind every time. I'm sorry, but you call that parent of the year?
But we know a lot of people that did that.
And that's why I'm calling them out. And I'm telling you guys that you guys are crappy.
Palmero
You guys are
said
shitty for that.
when Jovan doesn't want to see something, she just puts her ears over her eyes.
This guy. Tell me one time.
Laquifa said, "Look at the Carmelo Anthony case. 2-parent household, A+ student, church every Sunday, but still took a knife to school and stabbed another student." Yeah, there's definitely outliers, bro. And that's the thing. And again, I don't think that's even everybody's making that a racially thing. That's not no racial thing. That's a kid thing. That's what that's what shit that happens. It's become racially because of the outside. You know what I mean? That's the best way to approach shit and try to justify stuff, but. Yeah, there's definitely outliers. I was in the joint with people that like kids that were going to ASU and got a DUI or wrecked and killed somebody. You know what I mean? Like, those things happen, and those are the things that cannot be avoided. To be honest, you can't avoid people being stupid. You have everything in the world, but you go to a bar, drink, and then drive home and whack somebody. Like, you get what that's where the consequences come in. My issue is kids that are from birth growing up in a home that is not teaching them a better life. There's nobody that they can look up to and say, "I want to be like him." The people that they do look up to and they want to be like are the ones that are in the joint, part of that world, all that type of stuff. And so those are the kids, I think, that if you were to introduce an adult positive perspective, a positive role model, someone that they can actually say, "Damn, I wish I could be like that person," then I think most of those kids would have a chance. Because some of them, let's be honest, they do great as criminals. I mean, they get caught like everybody does, but I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like, they can be somebody in that world because they're smart. But they could be so much more in this world, and that's the problem, Leo Crespo said, "Tursac stories are the best." Yeah, that dude is a trip, man. I got a few more phone calls and some other videos, but I don't know if you saw, Leo. Facebook is really tripping on me, so I have to kind of put most of those videos the way I'm doing it now. So hopefully that's not too big of a problem, but I'm doing my best over there trying to figure it out. But I do put other videos. I mean, there's videos here on YouTube. I try other ways too to put them out, but a lot of these platforms will shut shit down. And Facebook, I've been doing it for almost 5 years, and now all of a sudden they're coming at me crazy. It's just stupid stuff. So that's why I'm kind of trying to put them into the way I'm doing it now. Porque no se chingas, you will, bro. Jojo says she tried to take Javon's taco.
No, she didn't, sir. Sicko.
Jojo said, Johnny. T-Real said, hell yeah, I'm an assistant manager here at the AutoZone warehouse. I said, that's feeding me, bro.
Dang.
That's
We
good.
were just at
Yeah, I had to go to AutoZone last night. We got in the car and one of my headlights had went out. We went and bought there's a 24-hour AutoZone here that we were able to get one at. Murillo Edward Murillo, probably right. Cubo Carnal, what's up, brother? How you doing? Jojo said, T, really let me get some parts, right?
right.
I'm gonna call you. B2 Billy B23, what's up? He said, what's up, everybody? Peace.
Hello.
How you been, Billy? T Rilla said, always LOL. I get 50% off with my manager discount. Damn, for real? Damn, I could have got my headlight for $9 last night. We supply all the auto zones here in my state. All right there.
Oh, that's cool.
JC Crawford said, I'm 46. I lived the street life, Northern Cali, Tucson, Arizona, seen prison, got out, became a firefighter nearly 15 years. My children don't do things I did growing up, and I'm blessed for that. As always, keep pushing 100%. Yeah, absolutely. And these are again, when I'm requesting for people to sign up for the mentor program on the nonprofit, those are the type of people, not just those. I also want people that were in the hood and made it, entrepreneurs and stuff that can come and just say, you don't have to go that route. But the ones that did persevere that way, that's a good, that's great for these kids to see. That's an example that these kids can be like, damn, that's feed me. Like, we don't have to just be this cookie cutter, cholo, gangster, prison, death. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be that way. And you're just like my kid is, man, listen, I spent 20 years in adult prison. I spent, I don't know how many years in juvenile, in and out, juveniles, custodies. I was a made member of the Mexican Mafia. I got a murder on my jacket. I got, armed robbery, all of that. And my son can't even look at blood without fucking passing out. He has never, I think he's gotten like 1-2 fights in his life, but not crazy, like normal kid shit. My son is nothing like what I was. It's ridiculous, and it's feeding me, you know what I mean? And it just tells you the advantages of having parents that care and give a fuck. Yes, I was locked up most of his life in the beginning, but I tell you what, I used to call on the phone almost every day. And Jovan would put him on the phone, and my son would be like, Dad, can I get a Facebook? Like when he was trying to do stuff, and Jovan would include me in a way that so it looked like I had a say to my son. You know what I mean? I would call and he'd be like,
knew, like if I would tell him, come on, it's bedtime. I don't want you. Like, why are you acting up? Like, you need to go to bed. I'm like, okay, when your dad calls tomorrow, I'm going to tell him how you're acting.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, okay, don't tell him. All right, I'll go to bed right now. Like, he knew his dad because he talked to him every single day, and then we'd go to visit. So he was very much included in our everyday. But I did discipline him as well. I mean, I just wasn't a pushover. I had to be that one to do it. But I
mean, you could see the difference from kids that have parents that are there and that give a fuck, and the ones that don't. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. Is we all, as an adult, you can see the difference, and we know what it takes.
And when you look at your kids, you see that they're just kids, and you look at them and you say, oh my God, at this age I was doing this.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment as a parent, to look at your kids and they're just kids and they're nerds and they're into their cartoons and things like that. That's an accomplishment that they're not trying to be out gangbanging.
Yeah.
So but you also have the parents that did everything right. In my eyes, my parents did. And I feel like I had great parents. What made me want to talk to somebody in jail? I thought it was just harmless. I didn't really think it was nothing. and then it became something. And again, that's when you get into that world, you're gonna pay. There's things that you're gonna have to pay for. My son had to pay 13 years without having a father out here. Yeah, he knew him in there, but
yeah, it was still a burden.
Yeah,
it was still a burden. But and again, the
good people can go bad people can go good.
I think the biggest thing for us is, if you wouldn't want it for your own child, it should not be okay for anybody else's. And that's my biggest, now as a grown ass man with a mature mind, that's my biggest beef with the prison gangs, with the clicas and all that, everything that's going on. When these vatos are 50, 60 years old, these carnales supposedly, right? And they're putting a pico in an 18-year-old's hand and telling him to take someone out. You're making that kid throw his life away. He has no choice. There is no choice. We know this. And to me, that's shitty, man. That's again, they wouldn't do that to their own kid. So why would you do it to mine? If you care about the raza, if you care about these kids.
Would do it to their own kid, and that's what makes them crappy parents.
Some probably would, but the majority wouldn't. I know a few that yes would, but the majority would not. Yeah, there's some that are fucking mentally ridiculous, but honestly, for the most part, most of them would. And it's sad that nobody else thinks that's crazy, that's something that needs to be called out. If you care so much about women and children, like you say, and SA is such a bad thing because you don't want to hurt a child, you destroy a kid's life. What's the difference with handing a pico and telling a kid to throw his life away? Go whack someone, throw your life away. And I get it. People are going to say, well, they're 18. They can make their own decisions. If you have an 18-year-old kid, you know damn well that 18 isn't an adult. It's just, I don't give a fuck what the government says.
Same mind as a 40-year-old or 50-year-old.
The mentality isn't mature there. It's just not. And most of us were that age, and we know that I remember how I was at 18. Yes, I was on the R. I was already in prison. I went to prison when I was 17. I got transferred to adult court. But I definitely wasn't a mature individual where, it's a different world in prison. I mean, it's just crazy. I just don't see how that is why that's not frowned upon by people in the normal world. People will get on here that are basically normal citizens, watch TV with their kids and shit, and call me a piece of shit because I dropped out of the Mexican Mafia. But you're sitting at home with your children. Why can't I do the same? I realized that what I was doing in my life wasn't what I wanted to do, and wasn't what was best for my child and my family and what I had going on. And especially when I saw that they were so quick to turn on anything and everything. I've told the story before. Like one of the people that I whacked, we did it because he was supposedly breaking the rules of doing drugs. And then the night that we did it, me and Chino did drugs to celebrate doing it. It's the hypocrisy of that lifestyle, of that world, of that clica. There's no real rules. All those rules are to be broken, and then used against you later for breaking them if someone decides they don't like you. Laquifa said there's helicopter parents who ruin their children. Yeah, there's two.
Too.
That's the other extreme.
But
honestly,
I would rather them be a helicopter parent because they care so
at least
much.
They're trying, yeah.
And they think they, know, but rather than not care at all, trying to be their friend, trying to hang out with them, letting them dress certain ways, talk a certain way. The helicopter parents, I know it gets tricky because you feel like, I just want the best. I just want to get a little crazy,
Yeah.
But you also have to realize that you were that age at one time. And no, you don't have to give your kid everything like that, but you got to be a little lenient because then they're going to go behind your back and do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to make them want to go do it more. So,
Urqueño said it's crazy how early a broken, fatherless home affect the child. Even before starting kindergarten, the signs are there. Bad luck for the kid from the jump, unfortunately. Absolutely. I got kicked out of kindergarten. Seriously, I got I got kicked out of kindergarten. I got kicked out of third grade for stealing money from the lunch money. Like I was a bad kid, you know what I mean? Not I wasn't a mean kid, you know what I'm saying? But I was a bad kid. I was doing travesuras.
I think you just needed a hug. You needed
I
attention.
did. I needed
You
family.
needed attention.
I needed someone that gave a fuck. And that's what I think most kids need. And that's why I say if anybody that's serious, that has the time, please go to our website, the phase2oflife.org, and sign up to be a mentor. It hasn't kicked in yet, that part of it, but that's going to be the biggest part of our organization. I'm trying my best to where I want to get an application to where the kids can just log in and it would reach out to their mentor through the application. They'll have like 3 mentors that's assigned to them, so there's always somebody available. But if you do that, you just need to have that time and know that this isn't just, hey, I'm going to go give a speech about my life and walk away. You really have to be somebody that's available and there for these kids. You know what I mean? Once we get this really going, because I just think that that's the biggest part that's missing from most of these kids' lives. You know, there's a lot of other stuff too. I've built an actual course. It's a 12-week course for these kids that we can run them through and different stuff. But it's going to be a multi-pronged approach. But I think the biggest part is obviously the mentor. I mean, having somebody positive in your life that can kind of show you financial freedom, different shit like that. You know, just things that are not available to most kids. A lot of these kids don't know anything about money, about saving, about stocks, about bonds, any of that. And it's all real easy to introduce and real easy to understand. Pequeño said facts. Oh, yeah, I guess my number. Jacobson said facts. Hi, all. God bless you. He said, "What's up, brother? How you doing?" JC Crawford said, 100%. Agent Orange, what's up? He said, kids have a lot of potential. There were a few times when we would have to bring in higher educational teachers for smart kids and higher crime units in juvenile hall, especially in math. Yeah. Listen, man, it's not about, for the most part, it's not about intelligence. There's a lot of intelligent kids that make stupid mistakes because it's immaturity. They're still trying to figure out this world. And when you're immature, you make mistakes, especially if you have nobody to guide you. You could be the smartest motherfucker in the world, but if you've never lived it, you don't know it. These are, their minds are still empty and need the information. And if what they're getting fed is fucking, gangs and prison and all that shit, then that's what they, that's what they gravitate towards. Fern Dog said, Big Fern Dog, South Central Los Angeles. Bill Lynch said, hello, Cricket and Joanne. Good to see you live. What's up, Bill? How you doing, brother? What'd you do, Bill? You jumped from Facebook to YouTube? Eyes don't lie. So, orale, hope y'all well. I caught the live this time. Been keeping an eye on y'all though when in on YouTube. Very glad to see you doing Feed Me Dog. Thank you, brother. It's been a minute we ain't seen you.
Mm-hmm.
That's shit. Yeah, we've doing a lot better now. Just trying to keep this moving, man. Agent Orange said, El famoso Jojo. Jacob said, wow, man, that's tough past. Eyes don't lie. Said, props to wifey for that.
Huh?
Props to wifey for that.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping my son in my life like that while I was torcido.
I didn't have to,
Salty Rider said, old enough for war. Yeah, I mean, you're old enough to die. I mean, I don't know if you're really ready for war. You know what I mean? But I know the government says so. But honestly, think about it. When you were 18, did you have the mentality to even know what you were doing? You know what I mean? It's, again, I understand what the number represents, but you still have to think of the maturity of an individual. And at 18, you just don't have the mentality to make huge decisions like that, especially when there's older individuals kind of guiding you in a way and it's the wrong way, as a 50-year-old man, you hand a pico to somebody and tell them go whack somebody, you know, that's going to be there's going to be a lot of pressure on that kid to do so, especially if he knows the consequences of not doing it. You know, unfortunately, it's not just peer pressure on that case. I mean, they know that if they don't, there are some dire consequences. J.C. Crawford said a youngster went in at 18, 6 months to the gate, caught life in Arizona back in 2000s, I believe. Oh, that's a yeah, bro. That's a common thing, you know. That's what's crazy. Children always must have a bit of fear of parents. I don't mean fear because you get beat, but fear of disappointing them for fuck ups. But that comes from our parenting. Yeah, eyes don't lie. That's for sure. Most kids don't fear that because they see their parents don't care. You come home, you got a bad report card, and they're just like whatever. They don't even make you sit down and
Like,
work on it.
I feared my parents, but not in a way like where I couldn't come to them and talk to them, or I couldn't, like they weren't there for me. I feared them like, oh my god, my curfew's coming up. I know I'm gonna be late. Oh my god, like I'm gonna get grounded, or I'm not gonna be able to go out next weekend. Like that's the type of scary. Or yeah, my grades are bad. I don't want to show them my report card.
Yeah,
Type of deal.
disappointing them, like
Yeah.
you said. Yeah.
Just like that. But I always felt like I can go to my parents and talk to them about anything. Yes, I know they were going to be upset. Yes, I know they were going to be mad. But I knew that they were going to just, okay, this is what it is now. Let's deal with it and let's move forward and we'll try to fix it.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids are really scared to go to their parents for anything, so they try to find other ways out. That's not a good thing either.
Yeah.
You know?
Eyes don't lie. So when you do everything for your children and there for them all the time, right or wrong, and show them hard work, most kids will not only see it but will understand that they have good parents. Yeah, I mean, they definitely will notice it. The kids see what they're not stupid. You know, I mean, immature, yes. Stupid, no. JoJo said, "Ao." As I'm saying, they will try not to hurt his or her mom or dad because they feel awful about it. But there are some bad seeds out there too. Yeah, definitely. Again, there's outliers on both sides. You know what I mean? There are just some bad ones. That's not the majority. I really don't believe that that's the majority. I think the majority of our prison population, if there had been some kind of intervention early enough, they wouldn't be there and they would have amounted to something. Not all, the majority. I do believe that though, because they're not. You know, most people in prison are not there for dangerous crimes. They didn't hurt people. Most of them are there for addiction, things that are now looked upon as, you know, trying to mask internal pain and shit. You know what I mean? You know, didn't have parents, grew up fucked up, so you know, take drugs to feel better. Whatever the psychologists say about all that. I don't know it all, but I know that, you know, there's a reason for that, and that's the majority of our prison population. And the majority of vatos in the joint ain't in there for whacking fools. It changes. Pinta changes people the way things are. So then, you know, some people that have never hurt anybody in their life end up becoming killers in there and stuff. But that's again because of the environment and what they're being shown and brought up as. You know, again, that's the influence that they have. They don't have that positive influence. They go in there and they find that father figure in some old pinto that can tell the stories of, you know, whacking fools and shit. It's just sad. Bill Lynch said, I can honestly say that I wasn't mature enough to make responsible decisions. I wish I could have seen it differently than I did. Me too, bro. Absolutely, man. I wish that yeah, there were so many things I wish.
Look, I think you had to go through everything you had to in life just so you could be at that point where you met me in life. Because had you been a good little child, you would have never met me. So you're welcome. And if you had to do it all over again, you'd have to just to get back to meet me again. So
I think I could do without.
That's your son.
And have my 20 years of life plus
Without me and your son?
I didn't say my son.
Wow, you're crazy.
I didn't say my son.
You're crazy.
I didn't say my son.
Really?
What?
Okay.
Now she's gonna sit back and be upset. No, I think we could have still. We didn't have to be in that position
No.
to meet.
I would have never met you anywhere out
How do you
here.
know?
I don't like the same things you like. We wouldn't have hung out.
But
the
I would have
same
been a
places.
different person.
You're a little older than me. We don't.
What
we
if
don't-
I liked the Backstreet Boys if I
You
didn't do
don't.
nothing wrong?
You don't.
But you don't know
You're
if I.
not cool enough.
What if I wasn't that?
I
What
would
if
have
I was
never
a-
met you out here.
What if I was a little nerd that did Backstreet Boys?
You weren't though.
Exactly.
And you're a couple years older than me. I feel like you're an old man. Gross.
So stupid. Eyes don't lie. So this is why I have kids at a young age. It's not proper if you ask me. Oh, having kids at a young age. Yeah, I think the maturity isn't there. I think that's part of it. It's definitely part of it. Realistically, when I was 18.
What's too young though? Because then I don't want to have a kid too old either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think 18, 19, 20 is too young.
I think I was a little young, but I wanted to have a baby.
But because you were young, you're immature.
No, because I was in love, and then when I had him,
But
I was happy to be a mom.
but it's still
And I loved
immaturity.
being a mom, and I loved having my son.
But it's based on immaturity, babe. It really is. At the bottom line, when you think about it, 18 years old, I'm in love, I want a baby. Those are immature thoughts. You didn't have a job, you didn't have a career, you didn't have nothing. Well,
God,
I'm saying that's
why do you
immaturity
look like that?
because you were that.
Jeez,
It's just
people were
immaturity.
getting married at 15, 16 back then.
Yeah, but it wasn't the right thing.
I feel like I made
Not
the right
back
choice by
when.
keeping him.
Well, I'm not saying we're not talking about in retrospect. We're talking about what most people should do, not what did happen. Saying it would have it's in everybody's best interest to make sure you're well established before you start having children. It just is. You can give your child a better life, a better world. You just can.
Maybe.
No, not maybe. For
I'm
sure.
50-50. I don't have to agree with you.
I know.
Okay.
I'm not saying you do.
Okay. Well, then don't look at me like that.
I'm gonna. You're wrong.
I'm not
Yeah.
wrong. I don't have to agree with you.
Let me see.
Then how are you?
I'm right. J.C. Crawford said, I did a scared straight at Corcoran Prison in 93. It was a crazy experience. Yeah, I don't think that works, bro. Does it? You think that you went through it, do you think that would really have an effect on anybody? I don't, bro. I really don't. I think most of the kids that are going through that program are already kind of far, so there has to be another way to reach them. Going through scared straight, I really think that's more of a you're challenging that kid. Because I'm trying to look at it from my point of view. If I would have went through there and I had some big dude telling me, come in here and I'm gonna rape you, I'm gonna pull your ass, do it all, all the stuff they try to say to scare you, I'm gonna beat your ass. I would have been like, all right, fool, I'm coming in here, and when I get in, that's the first dude I'm gonna shank. You challenging me, my manhood, everything, and I'm an immature kid, obviously. And so my response is, shit, you ain't going to do that to me. Watch, I'll be here. And I think that's like the response usually from these kids is not going to be, oh, never mind, I'm not going to go in there because that's going to happen. Most kids have been hearing that all their life anyway. When I was real little, I think 7, 8 years old, people used to tell me they didn't feed you. You ate snakes and cockroaches and stuff for chow. That still didn't stop me from wanting to go there. Like I just don't think that's the stuff that's the way to do it. I think that's just another negative experience. I really believe that just putting just positive influence, putting someone in their life that can show them a different world is huge. Most of them haven't been out the barrio. A little bit over an hour. Let me finish these comments and we'll get at it. Jojo said, yep, thank you, brother. He put that's the nonprofit website. Jeffrey Holland said, I find it ironic that the biggest, if not one of the biggest thing you hear about prison is respect.
Yeah. That's
Meanwhile, he said, meanwhile, the people teaching about this are people who are in prison for not respecting anything on the outside. Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's because it's a false respect. You know what I mean? And I think it's because most of the people in prison never really amounted to anything. That's the truth, whether we like it or not. We were nobodies in society. So when we get in there, we're demanding this so-called respect, and it makes us feel um, like we're somebody. You know what I mean? I think it's just a play. It's a game. It's people are it's acting. You know what I mean? It's like going to the swap meet and dancing in Charlie Brown's. It's coast. What do they call it? What do they call it? Cosplay. Cosplay.
Cosplay.
Yeah. So just a completely off topic, but has anyone noticed how much thinner they're making Doritos now?
Oh my god.
He said they don't have the same crunch anymore. It's more of a crispiness. Look at Sergio.
Oh my god.
He's just Sergio. Well, that was off topic.
I never noticed that, but I'm gonna look into it, Sergio.
we'll-
We're gonna look into it.
We'll check that
We'll
out.
get it back tonight, okay?
JC Crawford said the brain doesn't fully develop till you're 24, 25 years old. Yeah, that's fact. That's not even an opinion. That's well known. Burkina said old enough for war, but not old enough to buy a pack of cigarettes. Something isn't right there. Yeah, or to buy alcohol at the very least. Jeffrey Holland said, "I find it funny that that was the one." Yeah. Corey Ferguson, watch your Insider interview. Appreciate that, but what'd you think of it? Insider. Which one was Insider?
The one where you went to New York.
Oh, okay, yeah. So remember, what was the other one? The Union Lad. Okay. Yeah. Appreciate that, Corey. What'd you think of it? Burkina said, Sergio, hey, you know what chips are really good? The Quest protein chips. They taste just like Doritos, but they're like twice the price. Well, then just get Doritos,
chips
fool.
I've really grown to like now that an oldie person. The sea salt chips, you don't like it, huh?
No,
I like the vinegar chips. Those are good too.
I like those. But Sergio said, Burkina, I tried those once at my last job. They were pretty good. Corey Ferguson said it was very informative and interesting. Yeah, it was a crazy interview. They basically had questions. The questions they had, the way they wanted things. They had the questions set up the way they wanted to ask them. You know what I mean? I wish I could have said more about parenting and all, but they wanted to focus more on the gang stuff and all that. Eyes don't lie. Said I agree with you guys. Look at April Bambilla. How you doing, Bambilla? Good evening. I'm glad you're doing better. Bless you and your family.
Oh.
Thank you, April. How you been? Eyes don't lie. Said you see, if a kid has a good dad, the dad will drill in his head that those big homies in there are not your friends or your dad. They will throw you away when done. They are using you, and they will click in many kids' minds. Yeah. And not just that, brother, but honestly, they're using each other. Like, because you don't want to get it fucking twisted and say if you reach that level, then you're all good and you get to be the user. You reach that level and you're still being used and you're still going to get thrown away when that time comes. There is no immunity at the top. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest message that people need to take away from this. Like, you can't aspire to be and say, okay, but once I make it to the top, then all of this is, cool. As long as I don't get hit before then, I'm good. Then no, you're gonna be used throughout, and when you get there, you'll be used still, regardless if you're also doing the using. It's gonna go both ways, and then in the end, you'll be thrown away like everybody else. Eyes don't lie. Say we know what too young is. No, after 21, in my opinion, is young. Under 21, even 21 is kind of young, but more understanding. I'm just sharing my thoughts, and it's the majority. There are always exceptions to the rule. Yeah, there's always exceptions, but yeah, but
because I don't think my son at 21 years old was on the same level as I was on 21 and you were 20.
yeah,
Like he's just in a whole nother world.
yeah, he couldn't have no kid right now.
There's just no way he can handle a kid or go through what I went through. And I didn't go through really anything, just 3 days, but that was an eye opener, and it was a very scary experience.
But even having the kid,
he wouldn't
without all that.
He just, I don't see him. Well, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. So.
JC Crawford said, "Made it worse for me. It drug me deeper." That's what that's honestly the way I believe that program does, bro. Scared Straight. I do not believe that would ever scare anybody straight. I really don't. Mark Gonzaga said, "Cricket Jawan, it's good to see you guys back on the live podcast." What's up, Mark?
Oh, hey.
How you doing, brother?
Just hanging out.
I'm gonna finish these comments. I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I appreciate everybody coming through, but it's been a little bit over an hour. I don't want to take too much of you guys' times. We're just sitting in this place. And
it is hot.
Eyes Don't Lie said also back then, people having kids at 16, 17, life was different then, way different. Necesitas to live, necessities to live were nowhere close to now. And back then, back in most countries, they lived together with their parents. Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah, without parents, most teen moms wouldn't make it. You know what I mean? There's no way. Even above teen. J.C. Crawford said, yes, why I tell youngsters we need more firefighters for. Yeah, for sure. Eyes Don't Lie said, so there were always grown-ups around to teach right from wrong. Before 21, sorry, LOL. J.C. Crawford said, I work with junior firefighters. They're paid firefighters to this day. Education and degrees is key, 100%. Yeah, trade school, any kind of education, some is huge, and I think it also instills a sense of pride in these kids. Just learning things. Me as a grown ass man, after I got out of prison, I was 37 years old, and I would learn things. I mean, any little thing, how to use a multimeter on the electricity and stuff, and it would make me think like, damn, that's cool. I learned some shit. Like, I can only imagine what it would do for a kid. Eyes Don't Lie. You see, there you go. She said it because her parents were good and she didn't want to embarrass them. Yes, we should be able to talk to parents about all. And as a parent, I'm a friend, but I don't allow that line to be crossed.
Right. Like my parents they were cool with us and we could go to them for anything. But like you said, don't get them mixed up. They were not our friends. They were not our friends. They were ready to ground us. They were ready to yell at us. They just weren't. Yeah. But again, I didn't feel like I couldn't go to them for anything. I had to go to my parents at 19 years old and say, hey, I'm moving back in, guys. And my boyfriend is in the county jail right now, facing death row. And by the way, I'm pregnant. You know what I mean? So for a 19-year-old to have to do that, especially to my parents, who my parents were like so great to me, that's kind of messed up. Because if they were parents that just didn't care or they were just whatever, they're like, I don't care, your life isn't perfect, so I'm going to do me. But to have to go to them and tell them that, yeah, I felt like a dog with my tail between my legs. But, at the same time, they were upset and they were annoyed, of course. But then they're like, okay, well, what are we going to do about it? We got to figure this out. We're here for you. We love you. We're your parents. And then they did. They supported me, but that was a tough one.
Yeah.
That was really tough, to have to do something.
What's the real said? Did the California Mexican Mafia control the Arizona Mexican Mafia? No, they're two separate things. They're autonomous, bro. So California wasn't in Arizona, and Arizona wasn't in California. So it didn't work that way. Our prison system Hey, all right, guys. The Wi-Fi died, and I can't get it to log back in on the computer. But I think we're gonna go ahead and end it there anyway. We'll be back. Um, we'll be back tomorrow or something. We appreciate everybody. Yes, sabes. I think this restaurant every certain amount of time it kicks you out the Wi-Fi and shit. And I'm trying to log back in. It's not letting me, so I'm gonna end it there. Can you guys hear me right now? Just let me know if you guys are hearing me. Say adios, por lo menos. I know I didn't finish the comments, but we'll come back. Uh, you should do more interviews, bro. This message needs to go out more. I would love to, brother. Honestly, I think I would love to get that started. Or just like you told about the Arizona prison system, Corey. I'm sorry, guys. This shit. I don't know what's up with this Wi-Fi, but hopefully you guys are hearing me right now. Here, but órale, pues, I'm gonna get out of here, and we'll be back mañana or something if we get this thing. Órale, pues, everybody have a good night. Thank you. Until the next one.